Shauna, while places open up and restrictions loosen in the province, some are looking towards the end of the summer, hoping that the CNE opens its doors as well. While organizers say that it's too late for that to happen this year, they add they're also uncertain about next year. So the X is not happening this year. What are your thoughts on that?
We were just talking about it. We were saying how much we miss it.
This group of young women go to the X every year together.
Just like the crazy food and stuff, I always look forward to that.
In the X, there's a lot of like cultural things that they show. So like that is like something that I always look forward to. Basically, the community of like Ontario can come together.
They weren't able to attend last year because of COVID. The X isn't taking place this year due to pandemic restrictions, and 2022 is also uncertain. Surprising to some, seeing how cases have dropped across the province. Are you ready? While the Caribbean Carnival, Taste of the Danforth, and Beaches Jazz Festival won't be happening as usual either, drive-in concerts are taking place, and the Canadian International Air Show is also happening in September. Although organizers are unsure whether it will be virtual or in person at this time. The CNE's counterparts, the Calgary Stampede and the Pacific National Exhibition in Vancouver, are also taking place in person this summer.
People look at the Calgary Stampede and the PNE out in Vancouver and assume we're in the same situation. We're not. With the Calgary Stampede and with Pacific Northlands, they control their grounds and they can manipulate as they need to accommodate what might be a different sort of event this year.
Daryl Brown, the executive director of the CNE, says back in May, when the City of Toronto announced the cancellation of in-person city-led and city-permitted outdoor events, he lost hope of a 2021 annual fair. Even though the province will likely be in Stage 3 in August, where organized public events will be allowed at a larger scale than in Stage 2, Brown says it's too late to set up for such a grand production.
And have refunded that money back out to the vendors and exhibitors. So we actually don't have the funds available that would allow us to do the kind of work that we normally would do.
Brown adds the CNE lost $6 million last year due to its cancellation. They have now laid off more than half their staff and are even further in debt.
We do not currently have the money to get us to a 2022 CNE.
People are suffering big time for a business. My biz had been suffering also for the last year and a half. So my thoughts go with the exhibitors and the people wanting to attend.
An online petition with over 22,000 signatures is asking the provincial and federal government for $11 million in the hopes the 142-year-old fair can return next year.
We're hoping that the Premier is true to his word that he had uttered back in September of last year, that the province would lend a hand.
We reached out to the city. Here's what they said. In part, for very large events such as the CNE, operating at the reduced scale required by public gathering limits makes the economics of holding a successful event very challenging. The city continues to work with the CNE to help the fair through this difficult year, as it also did in 2020, and prepare for a bigger and better in-person event in 2022.